Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Are you telling me that Shikimi is not just a sadist, but she is also a masochist? What? I did not think they would incorporate those things into one character, and I'm assuming the reason why Shikimi is like she is, why she seems to be sadist, like a big sadist, is probably because she enjoys pain, which eventually made it to where she wanted to share that with others. And oh my god, this series, just like, what? Oh, what? What? My mind is, it's blown right now, like, yo, that, okay, this series is, definitely surprising me now. I mean, I was really surprised with seeing a yandere and then a sadist in one series, and not the same character, but then seeing a yandere, sadist, and a sadist being a masochist on top of that, that is, whoa, just like, whoa. This series has just, it's blowing my mind right now, just with all these things it constantly continues just to throw in. I mean, it's not even that either. It also throws in God and the Demon Order, and aka, you know, Satan. And I'm like, what? Like, they're throwing in so many things, I just don't even know what to think. And, I mean, this has been very apparent since we started this series, you know, Renai Boukun, you know, Love Tyrant. We've all been very aware that this series loves just throwing everything in. And a lot of series or a lot of writers like to do that to see if something sticks and it'll be fine with the readers. And somehow the writer of this series has managed to, despite all odds, managed to overcome a lot of issues and actually make a very enjoyable series. Even though it's a series that isn't the best written, it's just still very fun. And seeing all these little things thrown in throughout this episode, I was just blown away once again, because you'd think after already seeing the previous episodes, I would already kind of know what to expect or know what they might have next, but no, that wasn't the case. I just did not expect to see Guri related to God, or she is actually the daughter of God, to the Satan coming in as like, you know, hey, I want her to be like, you know, my poster girl for the, you know, hell down below. I'm like, what the hell? Like, they're throwing in everything. And then it doesn't just stop there, though. The beginning of this episode really piqued my interest, not just because I do like Shikimi, but it's the fact that the way this series can actually flirt with these darker tones, but at the same time know when to switch over into a lighter mood. And that really surprised me with this episode, because let's look at it. Let's look at the, you know, the atmosphere of the first part of the episode with Shikimi and what she was doing to, you know, Seiji and all that, and what she was going to do to Akane. We saw a very different tone in that part of the episode. It was very dark, it was very grim, and it fit, you know, the character introduction of Shikimi. But then, once everything was done, all of a sudden, Guri comes out of nowhere, and then the tone shifts over into more of a comedic fashion. It was still a little bit serious, but overall, it switched a little bit more into comedy. And that is what got me, because the way the series was able to tone shift like that from a serious moment that was very different, it felt like you were watching a different series, actually, over to, like, this comedy, like, side in the later half of the episode. That's what really blew me away, because the series, despite all odds, continues to surprise me with how it can do something like that, because that's really hard to do, especially when you have a moment like that. You're treading the line of being over-dramatic or melodramatic, and you're also treading the line of it just shifting in the wrong way to where you just can't take the entire episode seriously. In some ways, I still can't really take it seriously because of everything thrown in, but it wasn't in a way to where I hated the episode or disliked a certain part of the episode. In fact, that made me appreciate the episode a lot more, with the way it was able to give us this information that was very serious, stuff that actually was giving, you know, our characters characterization, but then swap over into, like, the side of the series that we know and love that's very funny. So just job well done, Love Tyrant, for doing that very unexpected tone shift in this episode and making it work out. The only other series that really comes to mind, like a couple series that come to mind that can do something like this, in my mind, is definitely Gintama and Beelzebub. Those are the two series that come to mind that can do really good tone shifts from like a serious moment to like a, you know, a comedy moment. And this episode clearly showcased that, you know, either the writer is really good with that, or just the animators that were working on this episode, they went all in and they made sure that it looked really nice and clean, and you weren't really bothered with the way the episode changed its atmosphere, and it went into something completely different. So with that being said, though, let's talk about the actual characterization. So Akane, she got a little bit of characterization. So did, you know, the cousin, the sisters, and all that. We got a little bit of characterization with them, finding out that there's a little bit more to their backstory, which it's been slowly building up recently in the past couple episodes, and we knew something was going on, but more details were kind of discovered. Apparently, Akane also has an ability or some form of power. She's considered a weapon, and then, you know, the younger sister, she's, like, considered a shield, and it makes you exactly wonder, what is Akane's ability? Why does she not want to use it? And why is she scared that, you know, Seiji will hate her if she was to reveal this ability? That's what I'm kind of curious about. Now, judging by how Love Tyrant is, I don't really know if I should look at that and think too seriously about it, or if it's going to be used for a comedic purpose. I have no idea. But still, I'm very curious about that, because she's wanting to hide it. She also is worried that Seiji will hate her because of it. But then on top of that, though, we also know that there's something really wrong with, like, you know, their upbringing, their parents, all that. There's a lot of questions I have about Akane's parents, you know, her younger sister and all that, and then also, you know, Shikimi as well. I'm very curious about all of their backstory and all that, and hopefully one day we do get that. Maybe we might get it in this season, I have no idea, because we'll see where it goes. I mean, we don't really know if this anime adaptation will continue to be, you know, good or bad. It really just depends on the studio. But besides that, though, the second half of the episode shifts over more into a comedy atmosphere. And if you thought, you know, the first half of the episode was a little bit too grim, the second half will cheer you up, because you have it to where we get to meet Guri's actual father, and also the Demon King, which, oh my god, like, the father really had a good personality. I mean, he was the typical dad type character from what I saw, but he had a really good personality. I liked his design, I liked how chill he was, and then how he was just, you know, saying, I wanted to meet the person that was, you know, changing my little girl and all that. That was some really nice stuff. But then also, you know, the Demon King as well, when he popped up and all that, and he wanted Guri, and then the way this was being set up, it's kind of hinting at maybe one day down the road in this series, there's probably going to be an arc to where God and, you know, the, you know, devil probably intervene into an arc and do something very crusty. We all know how these type of, you know, tropes are used in series. I mean, especially when a god or, you know, Demon King are introduced and they're related to, you know, our main female character or male character, obviously they always butt into something and cause like some form of drama or an arc or whatever. So that's probably what's going to happen with these characters. They'll probably eventually pop up and be very important. Now, I am curious about Guri's mother as well. I mean, we didn't get to see her, we didn't even get to see a photo. I would actually like to see her and see what she looks like and all that, see if she looks very similar to Guri, if there's another design to her. I'm very curious, because, I mean, they were trying to kind of hint at her and all that, and they were slowly hyping her up, and I was like, I would like to actually see her, but we didn't get to see her at the end of the day, which is kind of sad, but maybe one day we will. I have no idea. But anyways, though, this episode overall, it was a good episode. I mean, I have to say, I could see many not liking the episode for the first part of the, you know, episode with that atmosphere and all that with Shikimi, but overall, I felt like, you know, the episode had a nice balance between both sides of this episode, so I have personally no problems. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.